Hey, what's up, everybody out there in Facebook land? Collision Comedy Show, Visiblepreneurs with Isaiah Bentley,
Hello, hello.
Priscilla's little man whore. That's right. Hey, just so y'all know, we're doing a podcast and a Facebook show. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
And so make sure y'all go check out Visiblepreneur. I'll put that in the comments after we're done. But Isaiah's going to ask me a bunch of questions. I'm kind of nervous.
So
I'm
am
kind
I.
of scared. But I get to wear funny headphones.
Yes, isn't that great?
All right. Are we live on your thing yet?
Oh, yes, we're live.
Oh, crack. Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome.
Alrighty. Welcome to Visiblepreneur, episode 3, where this time I get to interview the Sammy J. Had to give him a proper introduction on that. So, Sammy, now that we have you on our show, I would love to hop on here and ask, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions, so if you don't mind. So, what is it that you do, and tell us a little bit about why you do it.
What I do. I own a construction company. I love motivational speaking. And just as of recently, I started a comedy show with my cousin. It's on Facebook and YouTube and different things. For me, I started everything with painting. Love painting. At the end of the day, at the end of a project, I get to look at somebody as their reaction to the job that's finished. And that just is such a high for me. For them to walk into a new painted room or a new painted house and you can see their vision come to life. Like
Fantastic.
what they pictured, and then boom. So I guess it was kind of natural for me to switch over to the motivational speaking because now I get to stand in front of people and see that exact same emotion, only it's from a personal standpoint. I get to see their mind shift. I get to see their body language change, their emotions come out, in telling stories and letting people know that whatever they believe, it can be true. So, and then the comedy show, for me and Joe, it was just being fun. With COVID and everything going on right now in our crazy world, and our world's always been crazy, and it always will be. Even after COVID,
That's
it'll
true.
still be nuts. It'll just be a different nuts.
Yes.
So, with Collision Comedy Show, it's a platform that people can go on, and it's totally interactive. And for an hour, they can get away. They can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. It's an adult show, not X-rated, but adult. and nobody's gonna judge them. No, I don't care if you're black. I don't care if that guy's Mexican. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care, and nobody else on that show cares. We get 600 people watching, and that's 600 people that we could put in the same room, and I guarantee you we wouldn't have to worry about an argument, a fight, nothing breaking out. Because we're there to have a good time. We're there to enjoy each other. And that's what this world needs right now and always has,
Yes.
you know. So
Yes.
that's a little bit about me.
All right, yeah. And that's the Sammy in the nutshell. So, do you believe that you were born to be an entrepreneur as well as owning your own business? Or was it something that this appealed to you as well as eased in?
No, I wasn't born. I wasn't born into it, that's for sure. I grew up in a small town, poor, on the poor side. And for me, it was, what do I got to
Just talk a little closer to the mic.
Hello. I'm not used to the microphone. I got those hand mics. Now, those I can hold down.
All right, yeah. I think we can all, as men, hold those down.
But yeah, no, I wasn't born into it. I was in the union up here in St. Louis, and I just didn't like the way things were going. I'm not saying the union's bad or anything like that. It just wasn't my cup of tea. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did is I went home and I told my wife, I said, hey, I want to try maybe doing my own thing. And she said, honey, I'll support you no matter what. Uh, go for it. And literally the first 6 years in business and construction were a complete nightmare because I didn't know that I needed to learn all this stuff. I didn't know that I needed to study. I didn't know about networking.
Yeah.
There was so much, just like anything, there's so much that you really need to go into instead of just oh, I'm going to open up a business. Okay, well, do you got your taxes set up? Do you have a name set up? Do you have your pricing set up? Are you marketing, networking? How are you getting customers? How are you getting repeat customers? And a lot of times it's a process to learn all that stuff because you don't know it at first. All we do as a society, a lot of times, unfortunately, we see the guy that's rich, and they go, "Oh, he owns so and so company. Man, it must be nice. I want to do that." Well, what they don't see is the hours he spent behind the scenes, the hours he spent failing, not doing the right things, the customers that he's lost, the customers he didn't get, the manufacturers, whatever it might be, that fell through. So there's a lot of failures that come in it, but if you're willing to stick it out, then and that's what I've always been able to do is stick it out, even through the really, really rough times. And trust me, there were some rough ones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you stick it out, and if it's a passion for you, you'll make it work.
Yeah, and I like what you said that you went in there and you took action. You didn't have the knowledge necessarily that was needed to get in there and run the business right, but it was all about for you getting in there and taking the action that was necessary in order
Mm.
for you to be where you're at today.
Yeah, definitely. It's always action, always, always. And with the action again, I can always go back to take the action, and it might fail. But that's okay. What did we learn from it? What did you take away from it to not do that again? Or maybe even sometimes that action might just need a little tweak. So are you willing to tweak it? And then, fail forward.
Yes, yes. One of the key words, you must fail forward because sometimes you're going to fail at life, but you have to learn to fail forward.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's great. So as a life coach, would you say the biggest impact on you was Tony Robbins, or was there another coach that comes to mind? How exactly did you get into coaching?
That's a good question. Um, I, Accident. No, it wasn't Tony Robbins. I read a lot of his stuff and follow him in different things, but no, I mean John Maxwell, Andy Frisella. There's a whole bunch. Les Brown. I love Les Brown. If I could say there's one guy that actually I inspire to be on that stage, it might be Les Brown. I love the way he tells stories. He's so passionate, which all them guys are. But there's just something about him that really turns me on. Me personally, like I said, I was in business for 6 years, had no clue. I was struggling. There was a big roller coaster, ups, downs. And somebody invited me to a networking group. That's 6 years in business, and I didn't know what networking was. And
Wow.
that's crazy, but a lot of people are that way. So I went, and then it was just a process of me uh, learning, okay, well, I want to be a really good networker. So what do I got to do? So I bought some books, watched YouTube videos, looked it up online, just studied it. Okay, this is how I can be a great networker. And then from there, it was okay, networking is marketing, kind of in a way. I need to work on my marketing. Okay, well, from there, man, you know what I found out? I like to stand up in front of that networking group. For me, it was the same. It was the same deal again. Is just standing up there, and as I'm doing my pitch, my 60-second pitch or elevator pitch, whatever you want to call it, it was watching the people's emotions. The people that are looking down at their phone or talking to their neighbor, it was making sure that they weren't doing that at that moment, that their attention was on me. because they really care about what I got to say.
Yep.
And that kind of started it. I did a John Maxwell thing for a little while, like a John Maxwell course. Awesome, awesome. I love John Maxwell too. And then I actually hooked up with a young lady entrepreneur, and she was telling me about this NLP, which I had no idea what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually neuro logistics programming. Went through almost a year course, and that really helped shape my whole speaking career. How to touch people's emotions, and at the same time help them touch their own. Fear runs a lot of us. It runs so many things in our lives, and it's how can we overcome that fear. And for me, that's what life coaching is. It's, unfortunately, not caring as much about what everybody else thinks about you. What do you think about you? How do you really see yourself? And how do you want to truly see yourself? So, that's kind of life coaching.
All right, awesome. So, I've definitely watched your comedy show and noticed the type of guy who loves humor. Now, has that helped you keep going when the times get tough?
Oh, definitely. That's the whole reason the show started. Is March 20th of 2020. They kind of did the lockdown thing with the COVID.
Yeah,
and
all of us remember that.
Yeah, jeez. And I sat at home, and I never do this. I sat there and I watched the news for like 3 hours. And I was so depressed at the end of that 3 hours. I was like, oh my God, this is horrifying. And I just said, you know what? I got to do something to shift my mind. And for me, that's what the personal development and the all is about, is knowing that, okay, I've got to shift my mind. I've got to get better. I've got to do something. And so what I did, I said, you know what? I've got a Facebook. I've done a lot of Facebook Lives. Tonight, I just want to do one and just tell jokes. And that's what I did. I literally opened up my laptop and pulled up a page. I read through a bunch of the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were stupid and funny, so maybe somebody else would. And I did it, So it's I live life that have life. I live my life that life happens for me, not to me. And if you can really shift your mind, that even in the worst of moments of our lives, because we're all going to have them, I ain't saying you're going to smile about it. I ain't saying you're going to laugh about it. But how can you turn it into a positive? How can you find the good that's in that? And for me, that's part of what started Collision Comedy Show. It was just, man, I got to change my own mindset. How can I help everybody else do that too? And as much as social media is a great thing and a negative thing, I knew it was a platform that I could go online and just say, hey, boom, let's all just laugh for a little bit.
Yeah, and with that being said, you found the positive of what will drive you forward, exactly creating this show. Am I right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we all know that comedy writing is definitely a bit on the hard side because, you want to get as much people's attention as much as possible. So how is it that you're able to get down there and write something and, okay, maybe you might think this is funny, maybe someone else not? Like, how did you overcome that fear of that part?
I wouldn't say it was ever a fear. More or less, Just Joe that does the show, the Collision Comedy Show. Oh yeah, shout out to Just Joe.
Just Joe.
We bounce stuff off each other. It's doing mastermind stuff. Like we might come up with an idea or a little sneak preview into some of the future videos that are going to be coming out. Is we're going to do an old man skit. Everybody likes to tease me because I got the gray beard and I'm old anyway, so it'll work perfect. But we're going to do an old man skit. So with that being said, I'll take that and I'll go to Joe and I'll say, here's my idea. What do you got? and he'll bounce stuff off me. Oh, well, what if we were outside in the park? Or, oh, what if we're in the nursing home? Or, oh, what if you're on your deathbed? Or, yeah, and yeah, and then okay, well, you're in the nursing home. Okay, dude, let's do the nursing home. Okay, cool. Well, what will we talk about? Oh, we could talk about hot nurses, or we could talk about how bad the food is, or, and then you just go with it. You know, it's a surprise and shock to me that drives a lot of comedy. But at the same time, you've got to be able to laugh at yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when I picture me and Joe doing an old man skit, I picture us. I'm a grumpy old man who's a pervert. Joe's just a grumpy old man, you know. And so it's okay. That's going to probably be real. How can we react that? How can we act that out now? You know, and make it funny. Make it to where everybody can relate to it.
Yes.
You know, so we're all probably going to be grumpy old perverted men. And women, you're going to love us.
Yes, that is so true. As a matter of fact, am I starting to get a little gray hair along here? No, probably not yet. I'm only 29, so I probably got 40 more years to go. Who knows?
Did you just say I look 60 years old? That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah. No, okay.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Oh, man. See, I love comedy skits.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best to have, but hard to write sometimes, but still, it's great. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you, who is your favorite comedian, and do you think that they could be a potential guest on the Collision Comedy Show?
Favorite comedian? Oh boy, that's a tough one. That's kind of like the speaker thing, the Tony Robbins thing. I don't know that I have one.
Because there's just so many to choose.
Yeah, there is. There's Dave Chappelle's a mastermind. Love Dave Chappelle. Eddie Murphy was a genius. Oh God, let's see here. Chris Farley. Chris Farley was a blast. You know, and I don't actually know if he was a stand-up comedian, but just the skits that he would do for Saturday Night Live or his movies and different things. I'm big in the body language part of it all. Like I want people to see the emotions and feel them, and I can do that through my hands and actions and tones and voice, you know, all that kind of stuff. And Chris Farley is a master at that. I don't think he'll make it on the show though.
Okay. Oh well, but at least we tried.
Well, he passed away.
Oh, that explains that. Well, that explains a whole lot in that case.
Bill Cosby did a show. I think it was called Bill Cosby Live, and I loved it. He didn't cuss. He didn't. Bill Cosby in this show, he didn't. It was adult show, so I feel like it's a lot like the Collision of Comedy show. We do cuss a little bit, and we keep an adult humor, but his whole show was like, how do you go to the dentist, and how do you reprimand your kids? You know, I'll never forget him in that show. He's going, my wife, she's like this, and she says, kids, line up. The beatings will now begin. But he was acting it out, and so we can all picture that, you know. And for me, that's what I want. That's what me and Joe want out of this show. Is we want people to feel like they're right there into it. While we're not stand-up comedians, we can take stuff like that and go and pull away from it and say that's what we want. We want that feeling. We want our fans to feel that and go, man, that's funny. I can relate to that. So I would probably say Bill Cosby as a stand-up comedian. There we go. Boom. I said it.
All right. Perfect. That is perfect. So the way that you do the comedy show is something that hasn't really been thought of much in the comedy industry. And what gets me to say that is that you have audience participation, especially in the Facebook Lives. Like, what led you to do that?
Because I wanted it to be about them. As much as it is for me, me and Joe sitting there and having fun with it, I want people to be able to escape and have their own word, have their own voice. Again, we live in a world where there's so many voices that come at us. A lot of times we feel like we don't have our own voice. Like we can't say what we really want to say because, well, we don't want to be judged. We don't want somebody to look at us bad. We don't want our family to maybe not like what we said. And it's like, why? You're your own person. Have a voice. You know, I can sit here on this show, on a collision comedy show, and we did it just a little bit ago, and I can say, hey, this is a black man. And I don't feel bad. Isaiah's my friend. Me and Isaiah's known each other for a while. And I don't have to feel bad about somebody looking at me and go, oh, he's on a show with a black guy. Or vice versa, honestly.
Right.
I can't believe that black guy's got a white guy on his show. Really? Brother? And I mean that truly, and I do. I don't care. And that's what the show's about. I don't care. If I want to talk about sexual positions on Collision Comedy Show, I can do that. And the fans are going to have fun with that.
Oh, of course.
They're gonna have a blast with it just like I can. That's the whole concept of the people being interactive is you've got a voice. And guess what? I can speak that voice to Isaiah. And I don't care what his skin color is. I don't care what his beliefs are as far as are you Republican, Democrat, what church you go to. I don't care. And that's what I want people to feel like. Now, can we do that every day in our jobs and our lives? No, we can't. Unfortunately, we still do live in this world. But for that hour, you can. For that hour, you can let it all go away and just have fun and be yourself. Be your true self.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So, and now, one thing that I have to say, and this is kind of going back to the coaching part, because I know that you still want to get more into that as well. So what did you say that the challenge is, so that way you can also maintain being a coach, but still keeping the show as well too?
Treat it as two separate entities. Don't try to comedy up a coaching session. And at the same time, don't try to coach people into liking your show. So keep them as two separate entities. But at the same time, in my mind, I can say both of these are positivity. Both of these are showing people what they truly want to be. The comedy show, again, it goes to, for an hour, they can be whoever they want. They have a voice. They can do whatever they want. It's on them. In life coaching, what do you truly want? Not what do you think everybody else wants out of you. What do you want, and how can you achieve that? Maybe it is doing funny stuff. Maybe it's opening up a construction company. Maybe it's running a networking group. Whatever that might be, know that you can do that. Nobody can hold you back except you.
That's true.
So doing them both, passionate in both. Your passion's got to be there. If your passion's not there, it'll fall. But keep them as two separate entities, and let them feed off each other.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because that's a wonderful thing to do. And, as you're incorporating that, I'm sure it's had its challenges, but you're succeeding very well at it. So.
I try.
Alrighty, so last but not least, can you please tell the viewers that if they want, oh my gosh, I can't speak.
Don't be nervous, man.
No, I cannot be. So if somebody is looking to have a project done on their house, whether that be in some type of construction, as well as, or maybe they're looking for a coach, as well as how to join the Collision Comedy Show. Can you tell the viewers exactly where to find you and how to find you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Facebook's probably going to be the biggest place. I've got a Farrens Finishing Facebook page, so you can go on there. We've got a bunch of before and after pictures, some how-to videos, how to fix a hole, how to get rid of popcorn sealants, different little things like that. So that's Farrens Finishing, and that's on Facebook. The motivational speaking or life coaching, or even business coaching, is called Mental Edge. Right? Again, that's a fake Facebook group. For me, Mental Edge is being on the edge of greatness. We're all right there. It's how do we get over it? So that's what I help people achieve, is how to get to that next step, and then run with it. And then last but not least, Collision Comedy Show. Again, look on Facebook, Collision Comedy Show, and you'll be able to find all three of them. So you can send me messages through any of those, and I check all three of those pages every day, multiple times.
All right.
So that's a big place to find us, or find me, and then Collision Comedy Show to find me and Joe. So yeah, that's the big one.
All right, perfect. Well, Sammy, thank you for allowing me to interview you on Visiblepreneur. Love the great information that you had to provide for us. And please like and subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube page, as well as like our Facebook page. This is the Sammy J. Do not forget it. And we will catch you next time. So bye, viewers.
Thanks for having me.